I return as nerdy as ever with some interesting goodies from Overstock. They had a sale going on. I decided to stock up. They actually do have a few fountain pens on their site. So if that's something that you are interested in diving into, I know that they also carry many of the Noodler's ink colors. In fact, I got a bottle of Habanero on Overstock. So I've already sort of been through this, and I'm just going to show you guys some of the goodies that I got. So, what it looks like closed. I ordered a couple of platinum pens. I know one is a Plazar. That's this one here. So it's got the black nib, and I already installed the cartridge. I just need to clean this out. And this is actually the cartridge that came for this pen. So I ordered another. Wants to be finicky, so let me carefully put it. I actually do not remember what this is. It is labeled as PGB 3000A #5-M. So I'm assuming it is a medium nib, but I could be totally wrong. And it's also labeled with C-4NB. And it comes with an instruction manual, which does not actually say what this one is, because it's got stuff for the fountain pen, a mechanical pencil, an oil-based ballpoint pen, water-based ballpoint pen, and a gel-based ballpoint pen. So I'm going to actually have to do my research to figure out what I have here. That's okay. It's almost like a demonstrator of the Plazar, but it definitely feels a little more solid. Let me go ahead and show you guys these side by side. Has a nicer nib too. Let's see if I can get the light. There we go. So this is going to get a converter. And I think all of these did actually come, with cartridges, but I am not a big fan of cartridges. And yes, I could have gotten a silver one, but it was like several dollars more. So, and then we have a blister-packed Waterman here, and I'm sure it is not as good as the Waterman of old. It can hold one very long cartridge. And I ordered a converter on Amazon. It was the recommended one when I looked up this pen. The pen is from Overstock. Cartridge is from Amazon. So pretty inexpensively wrapped. An all-plastic pen. It's a demonstrator. I think I could have just skipped the cartridge altogether, and I think I could have done an eyedropper with them. Fairly large nib. And it seems to be a European fine. Nib says Paris on it. Let's see if this works. Yep, looks like it will. Ooh, that's a tight plunger. Whoa! That's no good. Alright, so I'm going to get these pens all cleaned up and ready to ink them up, and we'll see how they write. Since we've got a couple of platinums on the table, I pulled out one of my Preppies, which is a really inexpensive little fountain pen. They're usually under $4, and you can convert it to eyedropper filled. This one happens to be filled with iron gall ink, so I don't ruin another pen. And for comparison, here is the Plazar. They seem to have fairly, if I can get my camera, fairly similar nibs and feeds, which makes sense. The Plazar is like a $15 fountain pen. Most of that is probably going to the body. And, well, I actually purchased the converter separately. And then this is the nicer Pilot. I think I paid around $30 for that, but I'm going to have to double check. The feed is definitely a little bit different. And the nib does look nicer. And this is a 0.5, and I'm having a hard time seeing what's on this Platinum. I'm really going to have to check out what it is. But it feels just like a nicer nib and a solid build. So, but I have no complaints with the Preppy for the cost. These are great. If you have a friend who's interested in getting into fountain pens and you want to give them a loaner, I would say fill a Preppy with an exciting ink color and just tell them not to unscrew the barrel and you should be good to go. So I need to fill these pens with some ink before we can really get an idea of what they're made of. The Waterman has a red body and a red cap, so I'm probably going to go with, I think, maybe Brandy Dazzle for that. One of my not named Platinum has a clear demonstrator body, and then I have a black body and cap for the Plazar. So I think what I might do, as I'd really love to put a gray ink in this, and I need to dig around and see if I have any gray ink samples. And I'd like to find, I wish I had a brilliant green, and I might. Something really bright and pretty would look nice, maybe even a fuchsia in the Pilot, I'm sorry, the Platinum. And I really do need to find out what the name of this is. So I will select some inks and I'll return. And it seems that I have a Waterman Culture translucent fountain pen with a fine nib, a Platinum Cool with a medium point in crystal clear, and that makes sense. I do prefer medium when it comes to Japanese nibs. And then the Platinum Plazar, as we guessed, in medium point. So these two actually have medium point nibs, and they're both by Platinum, so it's going to be interesting to compare those. The Preppy over here is also considered a medium point, so we can compare all three, and that should be some fun, right, kids? Alright, so I've selected my inks for the Culture, and that's Culture with a K. I'm going to go with Diamine Brandy Dazzle. And you get a really nice solid fill with the Culture, or at least with the converter that I ordered for it. Wow, that was another one that I had to buy a separate converter for. So we've got Brandy Dazzle. Nice snap caps, make them pretty quick on the draw. I've got Diamine Gray for the Plazar. And that seems to be approximately a Payne's gray color. I think it's kind of funny that I ended up getting a Plazar, which seems pretty similar to a Metropolitan, and I still don't have a Metropolitan. That's my choice, though. And then I have Diamine Golden Oasis. A friend sent me this. I only have a little bit of it, so we'll get a taste for it, and we'll be like, oh, I love this color. And that'll just have to be that. See if I can get a fill on it. I think so. Yeah. Ooh, that's a nice color. Look at that. It already shimmers in there. It's a little bit late, I know, for St. Patrick's Day. But I do actually really love Shamrock and Kelly Greens, so ooh, that's going to be nice in that. Let me get it fresh. Alright, so let's take a look. I could grab my Rhodia pad, but I'm actually just going to be lazy and we'll see if we can get a good line with this. So this is just the medium preppy. It's got Salix in it, and I just had to run it under the faucet, so it's still running a little light. Now we've got the Placer. Nib feels very similar to the Preppy, no surprise, but the Preppy works beautifully, so does the Placer. Now for the Cool. Ooh, I really like that nib. Just seems like a little bit more solid, but you can see all of the mediums are consistent, which is nice. That's some quality there because, you know, it would be really easy for the cheap pens to have a different line weight. All right, and then finally the Waterman Culture with Brandy Dazzle. As you guys can see, that's about the same line weight as the 3 Japanese pens, so it's about a 0.5. That would be the a European fine. So all 3 pens have a metal clip. I think in terms of build quality though, I like the Cool the best, and I'm gonna go grab my Pilot Prera, and we'll compare the Prera with the Cool because those are about the same price point and they're both Japanese pens. I also grabbed a TWSBI Eco. It's also in that price range. So this is my Prera. It is filled with Yamabudo, which I think is a beautiful color match. And this is a stub medium, I do believe. Then we have my TWSBI, which is definitely a stub. And that is filled with Rouge Hematite. And then finally, our Cool. Don't want to lose that. So this has just a medium nib, so it makes sense that the 2 stubs would be wider. And this is just crummy paper. This is one of those mixed paper sketchbooks, in fact. And it's writing quite well on it. Really, really enjoy that nib. So, all 3 pens have a lining on the cap. The Eco is a twist, but the Prera and the Cool both have snap caps. They both have metal clips. They have metal bands around the caps. I do believe you could probably eyedropper convert the Cool if you wanted, and it would give you a much larger ink capacity. The Prera has threads on the inside, so I wouldn't try that unless you sealed it. The Prera is cute, but it does feel a little bit janky. I do like how securely the cap snaps on. The Cool, while the same price, feels much more solid, much less janky. The nib just looks gorgeous. So I think if you were torn between a Prera and a Cool, I say go with the Cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I see you again really soon. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like. And if you enjoy watching me get my fingers inky, check out my fountain pen playlist over on the channel. Bye guys!